Okay, so before I start the theoretical class, let me introduce my staff members. So please stand up. Uh, yeah, those gentlemen will assist you if you meet while you do the practical session. So if you meet any error or any misunderstanding, so any misconfiguration, they're gonna help you out. Okay, so this is the head of Mr. Kim came from the Protect Medical Data Initiative, and then Brian and Q come from the Passwordless Alliance. So yeah, those guys will assist you when you meet the problems. Okay, sit down, please. Okay, so let me explain about what is the data, what is the new international standard technology for protecting data from cyber attacks. So those contents are based on the X.1220 and X.1223. So that content is provided by Protect Medical Data Initiative. So I will explain that why we named this organization as Protect Medical Data Initiative later. Okay, so for today, content is composed of 4. The first one is the understanding the standard, understanding the international standard for international standarding for the protecting data. So the name of technology is storage protection. The name of data protection technology is storage protection. We named it. So we're gonna understanding that first, and then after that, I'm gonna explain about the 2 kinds of the storage protection. Actually, it is composed of 3, but so far the 2 methods are standardized. So the first one is the X.1220, and the second one is the X.1223. And then lastly, I'm gonna introduce our organization to you. So that organization provides the free software. After you're listening, all of those, if you are satisfied with that, you can feel free to ask ask to this organization. Yeah. Okay. So okay, let me start with the first agenda. So everybody knows that there are so many attacks happen on the university or hospitals or government agencies. So many. So roughly, as we know that there are so many attacks happen on a day. So over the 2,200 cyber attacks happen every day. Simply, the one attack per every 9 seconds happens. That's the statistics. But whatever attack it is, if we categorize that cyber attack, it can be categorized as a 4. The first one is the phishing attack. Second one is the malware attack, and third one is the software vulnerability attack, and first one is the DDoS attack. As you can see that the phishing is a dominant the ratio for the cyber attack, but right after that, the malware attack and software vulnerability attacks are followed. But the DDoS is mainly less than 5% in total. So because of that, so we have to consider, we have to focusing on the major attacks. So the phishing attack will be covered by the passwordless authentication, but those 2 are not covered by the passwordless authentication. So those 2 areas can be covered by the storage protection. You will get to know soon. So let me explain quickly. Let's recap what it is. The phishing attack is basically someone to steal our credential while we are input the credential into our PCs or into our servers. So while we are input that, someone is hijack the credential. They become they can get into our system, and then they can do whatever they want. That's the account takeover. And second thing is the malware attack. That is, as we know that while we are using the email or click the link or while we are opening the Office file, our PC can be easily download the malware on our PC, and then at the end, the malware can be run on our PCs and servers. And then the worst case is the software vulnerabilities. As you know that while we are using the PC and servers, if there is any vulnerability on our software, they can get to our PC and then they can do whatever they want. So software vulnerabilities. In the past, the software vulnerabilities there was very mere. It was started low 1%, but now it's getting worse and worse. It become approach to the 30% of the cyber attacks. That's the statistics of today. And then, so as I believe some of the participants in here probably say that because I'm using the iPhone, that there would be no vulnerability there would be no attack on my phone. But as you can see that even though you are using the iPhone, if you are using the WhatsApp, without doing nothing, your phone can be compromised. That's the zero-click spyware. It can be any time if the attacker wanted to hit your phone by sending the crafted image to your phone, they can run the malware on your phone. The reason is that the WhatsApp. I'm not talking about a specific product. If there is any software, any software can have a vulnerability. So by leveraging this vulnerability, the attacker can get into your PC or server or the phone. They can take over your control. That's the problem of the software vulnerability. And then not only for that, if you are using the Windows, as you can see that there are holes in the Windows as well. So the CVE, so that is stand for. Is there anyone who know that acronym? No. Yeah, simply, it's please Google with the keyword with the CB 2024 380663. So it's the same expression type, but the first one is the vulnerability. That is the identifier for the vulnerability. And then the second numeric, that is a year, and the third one is the identifier. So anyway, so if you are using the Windows, so there are vulnerabilities. So if someone, that means if you did not patch on your Windows, anyone can get into your PC and then they can run whatever they want. So the critical point in here is when they get into your PC, the authentication is not run. They go around the authentication. So without any ID and password, they become your admin of your PC or server. That's the software vulnerability. So as you can see that while we are running even that case, that case is more worsened on the web server. So because our web server should be always open to public, but while we are running the web server, if there is any vulnerability, the attackers directly connected, sending the remote code, and then once our web server receives the remote code, they allow the attackers become the admin of their web server. So because of that, please later after this class, check out ask it to the ChatGPT. So I think that guy would be explain more than I do. But anyway, so remote code execution, that is one of the critical matter so far. And then again, if what I want to emphasize on if any software vulnerability attack is started on your PC or server, without having the authentication chance, they can get into your server and PC, and then they can run whatever they want. That's the problem with the software vulnerability. So if the CVSS, that is the severity score, that means if the severity is above the 7, the attackers can read the data in your server or PC. If the 8, they can delete, or they can do something worse. If the severity is above the 9, it's exactly like they become the admin. They can create everything. They can they can do anything as an admin. So that's the severity score. So it's identified the CVE have a CVSS score. So that's how the software vulnerability are measured and controlled, so worldwide. And as you can see that the software vulnerability is getting worse year by year. And then in the 2023, only in the Microsoft product, there are 900 CB are founded. This roughly, even just one vendor provides this free critical problem a day. And then the overall in general, so that statistics is accumulated from the well-known vendor, not the product developed by the SI company. So because of that, there are so many software vulnerability is running all system in our society. So the worst case is there are so many software vulnerabilities not reported yet. The reported vulnerability is just a small portion. So attackers still exploit the unfounded and uncounted, unreported software vulnerability when they attack to our system. Yeah, that's the fact. So to counter for that attack, some vendors provide the patches, but generally it takes minimum 3 months and then up to the 6 or 9 months. So after finding the vulnerability, up until patches provided, we have to wait without doing anything. That's where we are living in while we are using the software or the ICT system. So far, because while we are using the Linux and Windows and iOS and Android, while we are using the well-known OS, we cannot prevent the attack on our PC and servers. And then if they start the attack, they run as an admin on our system. So if they have admin privilege, they can steal and encrypt the data at any time if they want. So the question is anyhow, as a system admin, we have to prevent those kind of attack. That's the main question of today. So to answer for that, the ITU standardized the 2 standards, one for their XR1220 and the other one for their XR1223. Okay, so before I get into the in-depth the explanation, let me deliver the main concept of this technology. So as we know that we are used to use the network protection and endpoint protection, but we did not have any protection measure on our storage. So because of that, if any attack bypassing the network protection and endpoint protection, they can do any attack on our storage. So the funny thing is the network protection and endpoint protection, they are mainly attack based on the blacklist. They only can block when they know who bad guy is. That's the basic concept. But as you know that the attackers have enormous time and enormous resources, enormous number of developers. So because of that, they can easily change their shape, change their binaries, change their hash code. So because of that, at any time they can go around those kind of hurdles. So if the attackers have the abundant resources, they can easily modify and launch the attack to our system. That's the problem. So according to the art of war, there is an expression like this. If the enemy is bigger than us, try to leverage the environment to neutralize the enemy. If we have to fighting back to the numerous enemy, in case we shouldn't fight on the ground, we have to move to the valley and then try to defend our system onto the valley. So we have to leverage the environment. So following the art of war, what we prevent, that is a storage protection. The key idea of storage protection is to let's protect the data behind our file system. File system can be a valley can be the valley. So you will understand that later. If we protect our data behind our file system, even though attackers have enormous the resource, they cannot use their power. So the key idea is let's put the storage protection on top of storage. But to do that, it works with the whitelist. It protects the data with the whitelist. So it only allows when they know who they are. So the earlier protection measure, they block when they know who, when they block their, when the attackers is listed on the blacklist. But as I said earlier, if they change their shape, they can easily override. But at the end, the storage protection, they accept when they know who is the right guys, because it works as a whitelist. So storage protection is work as a 3 level. So the first one is the application level. Second level is folder level. Those two are already standardized, and third one is under developing with the TTA. So yeah, that's the key idea for the understanding for the storage protection. So let's get into the first storage protection. So the name of storage protection is the application level of storage protection. So the application level storage protection only allow the data request generated from the free registered application. It is based on the whitelist. So instead of mounting your typical storage to your PC or host directly, as you can see that the host only sending the file request information, and then storage just send the stored file to the PC or server. But instead of directly mounting your storage to your host, by placing the storage protection in the middle, and then register allow the application on the here. And then once the host wanted to access that file on the storage, in the middle, it examines that the request application was pre-registered. If that application was pre-registered, it provides a real file. Otherwise, it provides a fake file. It's simple. As I told earlier, so between the host and storage protection, it is work with network file system. So from the host standpoint, what they can do, they only can ask a file based on the file system. But we protect the file behind the file system, and the real file is here. If the requesting program was not pre-registered, it provides a fake file with read only. So because of that, even though attackers, they can fish it out, they can take it out the data, but that data is a fake file. But the application what we are using that should be the registered because we are the right engineer. So if we register the application on here, only that process can read the data. So let me play the video clip. So for your easy understanding, I already put the Microsoft Word file on the storage protection file system, but I did not register the Microsoft Word as a pre-registered application. So because of that, the storage provided fake file to the Word. The file was not opened. And then let me add the Microsoft Word on here. So the user have to pointing out the Office binary can be accessed to the storage protection. So I choose the word.exe, the binaries. And then it required to type the ID, password for the storage protection, and also it required the OTP. From the beginning, we assumed that on this PC there is malware. So because of that, it required to input the OTP code from outside of PC. So after the registration, if I click that, files are opened. It's easy. And then for a clear understanding, let me drag out the file to the desktop. If I open the file are not opened. The reason was I dragged out file with Windows Explorer, but I did not register the Windows Explorer as a pre-registered application. So because of that, even though I take it out, that file was a fake file. Yeah, it's easy, right? So even though the attackers can be a companion, they are using our PC together, our server together. But even though they are running, they are with us, they cannot reach to our data because there are middle. There is a middle guy to examine that request application was pre-registered. So, and then one more thing is in the application level storage protection, if the fake file try to open that file, in the middle guy examine that if that unregistered application try to open that file, is sending the information to the admin through the email. So let's just suppose you are running the database file in here, but except for the database, the application, if other application try to open the file, as a system admin standpoint, you have to know that someone tried to attack my database file, right? So because of that, it have a notice function inside here. So let me, I set the Microsoft Word file as a pre-registered application. So because of that, I successfully saved the file on there. But I did not register the Windows Explorer, but I tried to delete it. But as you can see that on the admin panel, the unsuspicious activity was detected, and then the email was sent to the system admin. That's one you saw. And then in the Linux, could you pause the video clip in a short? Yeah. So before I going further, so are you familiar with the Linux? How many? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay, so thank you for raising your hand. So that 6 guys will get into, we're gonna provide the Linux client and Linux module for your practicing purpose. So the storage protection can compose of the can be composed of the Linux client and Windows client. So because of that, if you are familiar with Linux, you can directly use this client for your Linux system. So anyway, so in the Linux system, play the video clip. So after I register the cp copy command, after the register the copy command, after that I can copy the file inside of the storage protection, and then after that, if I sending the command remove, as we can see that permission is denied. Only the copy can is workable in the storage protection, the network directory. And then the okay, it's okay, so we can skip that. And then the probably the even though you are the regulator or the policy maker, so probably you are already using the web server. But the web server is mainly composed of the DBMS, and then usually the web server have to accept the file, send it from the browser to the storage, and then it have to archive the text archive to the database. But by mapping the uploaded file to the storage protection, you can protect your data. And also by placing the DBMS file into the storage protection, your database cannot be stolen. The problem is that some countries only running the auditing program who check out what privacy record, try to tracing the who reviewed the privacy information of a certain database record, but they auditing the database record, but they does not have the attacker when the attackers steal the whole database file itself. So they don't have any countermeasure for that. So that's the big problem. So, or what we can do with the application level storage protection, after mapping the upload process and after mapping the database process, only those two processes can be reached to the data in the storage protection. And this is one of the example. So please, 6 gentlemen help me out later. And then as you can see that I checked the account with command who am I. With who am I is a root. As a root, I tried to delete all files in here by using the remove command. After the remove command, as you can see that in the normal file system are totally gone because I'm logged on as a root. And then maybe by leveraging the software vulnerability, I logged on your system, and then I can delete everything on your system. However, as you can see that if you place your file in the storage protection, even though log on with root account, and then to make sure, let me show where the storage protection is mounted. It's mounted as MySQL, and then WordPress contents. After that, I'm trying to delete that directory. But as you can see that, even though I run the remove command as admin root account, as you can see that, all the deletion command was not, permission is denied. Yeah, that's what the system says. So, and then if you are familiar with the blockchain, maybe you can store your key file in here. And also, by mapping the software HSM to the storage protection, you can protect the HSM file as well. And then sooner or later, so we probably gonna use the AI humanoid robot. But the funny thing is that we cannot assure that the robot yesterday served me is still same robot of today. Nobody can guarantee that. If the attacker, in the midnight, if the attacker by placing the model file in the humanoid robot, suddenly they can attack us. So what we suggest why we suggest to use the storage protection is without our approval, without the owner's approval, it blocks the data change and modification. So it can protect the AI model file, and it also can protect the training data. So sometimes, even in Korea, we are using the AI, but we do not want to give away our old data to the AI company. But while we are we need to train the AI process. Only to accept Calvin, could you turn off the air condition? Yeah. So by owning the accept the AI process as a pre-registered process, after that, we can train the AI, but we can keep the sovereign of the files, sovereign of our document or files. So maybe we can use this technology for the AI as well. So that's the basic concept for the first technology. But whenever I explain for the application level story protection, I got the 4 questions. Let me answer to those 4 questions. So whenever I explain to you, I already got the question, what's the difference with the backup? Because the storage protection is look like the ransomware prevention and data theft prevention. Compared to backup, so backup is not the prevention technology. It's a recovery. So as you can see that it can protect the data while data using. But the backup is only another copy. It cannot. Of course, it's not the prevention, but it cannot use while it is protected. But the storage protection, it allows reuse the data under the protection. That's the storage protection. And second thing is the storage protection is to protect even the final data. So as we know that if any data backup is created on the midnight, and then if the transaction is started today, if any the incident happened at afternoon of today, in this case we can bring the backup data. We can restore the data of yesterday, but we lost every data generated on today. So because of that, when the ransomware happened in the hospitals, if the recent data is gone, we cannot register them. So we have to pay back the ransom money, whatever they want. So because of that, it is very critical and important protecting data while we are using. It should be go together. And that was the first answer for the first question. And second thing is whenever I explain to the storage protection, sometimes I got the question from the officers who work for the military or who work for the government. From time to time, following the regulation, the secret data should be saved in the secure USB. So secure USB, that is so people sometimes they cannot distinguish what's the more good than secure USB. So if I answer for that question, the secure USB, as we know that when the data is stored in the secure USB, it is encrypted, and when the USB is connected to the PC, it authenticates the user. But the problem is that when the drive is mounted, if any malware runs on your PC, in case they can take out your data and then they can encrypt your data. So secure USB doesn't have any prevention measure in the file system level. So it is just a storage, dumb storage, like the encrypting after encryption. And the third question is what advantage of the behavioral detection system? So whenever I explain to you, there's some of the engineers ask me, we are using the behavioral detection system. So because of that, even though the attackers change their malware, we can detect it because we know what the attack behavior is. But the problem is if the attackers encrypt the file, just encrypt a file every 5 minutes, very slowly, in case existing typical detection system can be easily go around. So they only block when they know what the behavior is. If the attackers change their behaviors, the typical behavior-based system cannot block it. But as you can see that we register the application file, and when we register the application, we took out the hash value of that application. And every data request comes in the storage, we examine the hash value of that application, so every byte. So because of that, technically we are a little bit slower. We are slower than the typical Samba file server, because the typical Samba file server does not compare the application hashes, but we examine every data request. So because of that, technically it is slower, but it is secure. And then it does not make your PC on server slower, because as you know that the behavioral detection system require a lot of computing power. But we using the computing power outside of PC and server. The storage protection we only run as an independent the machine. We does not allow you to use storage protection on the same host, because the same host if you're relying on the host, they can, if your main the OS are compromised, the storage protection can be gone. So because of that, we always recommend use to storage protection in the independent server. And then that is one of the main the question what I frequently asked. So if the attackers directly attack to the storage protection server instead of your host, so of course attackers can even our storage protection server, it is based on the Linux, and it is based on our software. Maybe there would be the software vulnerability, right? Yeah, that request can be eligible, but we are running under the SE Linux environment. Is there anyone who know what the SE Linux is? Okay, so let me quickly explain what the SE Linux. SE Linux so far, if you please check out the Chatbit GPT, how secure SE Linux is. SE Linux is stand for the Secure Enhanced Linux. So it only allows the running the process already pre-registered in the policy. So because of that, even though the attackers compromise your PC, even though they can reach it to the server, only the registered process are accepted, and only the registered program can be run. So otherwise, if the attackers run the other program, it's stopped automatically. So that's the strength point of SE Linux. If you check out the SE Linux, you can see that so far there is no report SE Linux are compromised. So that is designed by the NSA, under the DoD, the U.S. Department of the Defense. Yeah. So because of that, so far SE Linux is so secure. So if you see that I played two video clips. One is for if your system, if the attacker come into your system, they can delete the file in your host, but they cannot delete mapped with the storage protection. You can see that. The attackers is logged in as a root to your application server, and then they try to delete the file. And then it shows the network drive is mounted to the storage protection. After that, it will show the list of files on that mounting and the mounting point. there is a file, test that text, and then I try to remove the file in that mounting point. But as you can see that the files cannot be denied, even though the root admin they cannot delete the file. So, but they can attack the file inside of your system. At the end, the files in the storage protection was not deleted, but the files in the storage files outside of storage protection, it is gone. So your file system cannot compete with the attack by leveraging by the root account. And then if the hacker already know how to what is the root account you and here, even though they try to run any command as a root, as you can see that it's not workable. So I directly connected to the storage protection server. I logged on because I know everything of you. And then using the sudo command, I switched to super user. After that, I authenticate as a super user. And then even though I logged on as a super user, if I check my account, it's a root. Even though using root, I remove the file in the storage protection. As you can see that, the files are not deleted. Because we are relying on our system on the SE Linux. That's the key. Okay. The first level, the technology that is the application level storage protection. When that is the name of standard, but when it software name of software is the Filing Box Mega. That was the software. So in this afternoon, we're gonna provide the Filing Box Mega server, Linux client, and Windows client, and then we're gonna run on your PC, and then we will make you on your side. What time is it now? 10:25. 10:35. 25. Okay, so this technology is, as I mentioned, that is standardized as XR1220, and this is international common criteria certified. And then is a Korean government procurement product already used in Korea. And then if you are familiar with Debian or Loki or Red Hat and VMware on Docker, yeah, you can run in your environment. Yeah, that's the technology. That's the first introduction for the application level storage protection. So before we go further, how about take some breaks? Okay. So yeah, let me continue. So after 10 minutes break. Is it okay?
Coffee break starts at
11 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go further. Okay, so let me explain about the folder level storage protection. So storage protection was the application level storage protection was the X.1220, but the folder level storage protection was that is the X.1223. That's also the international standard. Sometime when we try to deliver this application level storage protection, we face it with that question. As a Linux admin, I does not allow you install the client on my machine. After install that client, if there is any malfunction, I cannot accept that. It's very critical. If as a security admin, we recommend to install the client application, but if the operational admin does not accept that, in case we don't have any chance to provide the right technology. So to go override that matter, so we made another international standard, named as folder level storage protection. So compared to the storage protection, application level storage protection, folder level storage protection is a structure of the folder level storage protection is slightly different. It is based with the Samba, but the storage protection server is located in the middle of your typical file server, between the typical file server and the storage. So by placing the examination layer in the behind of your Samba file server and before the storage, it gives a protection layer to your typical Samba file server. So because of that, on your end application server does not need to install any client on your server. Windows on Linux and iOS and Android, you can use whatever what kind of OS, and then they can directly mounting the they can mount the mounting the drive to by using the Samba, but any data comes in, it block it adding the safeguard treatment. So probably someone know what the warm storage is. Warm storage is stand for the write once and read many. Once the data is written, so data cannot be modified or deleted. That's the warm storage. In past, it was similar like the CD-ROM. So CD-ROM is the one of the good example. It was the warm, but the problem is the warm is very expensive. It is secure, even though the ransomware runs on. If the data is on the warm storage, the data cannot be encrypted. But the problem is that it is expensive. So because of that, we wanted to use the switchable warm, but so far there was not that kind of technology. But after Extra 1223, it is possible. So if in the middle, on the storage protection server, it gives 5 options to the admin. So if after provide a folder to the user, if the set as a folder, if the folder operational mode as a worm, it start to work as a worm. But after that, if the admin of the file server changes the operational mode as a read only, it only work as read only. And if they switch to the add only, it only allowed to create a new file, but it does not allow to read a file. So it only allowed to create a new file. And the list only, you can see the list of files, but it does not allow you to read the file. You can see the list of files. And then lastly, if you switch to the read write, any user account can read and write and delete. It is changed as a typical file server. So it is you can place the operational mode folder by folder. So because of that, after providing the account to your colleagues, if you set as a worm, any data comes in the folder level storage protection. If it is protected as worm, the created file cannot be modified. But that's the basic concept. And then, as I said earlier, following the folder operational mode, it protect the file. And then after the select as only, it only create the new file. But after file creation, no one cannot read the file. It only accepts to create the new file. It is good for protecting your database backup file like that. And then the read-only, if there is a common module for shared to every system, in case by set as a read-only and provide a network drive to your existing system, you can share the common module. So this afternoon, we're gonna test the folder level storage protection first. After providing the account to you, and then if I already set the operational mode, and then using the typical Windows Explorer, we're gonna map the network drive to your PC, and then I set as a worm. So because of that, it allows to create a new file after dragging out the file on here. Even though I delete the file using the Windows Explorer, it's not deleted because it was a worm. It's easy. And then the next one is I set the folder as an add only. After choosing the add only, as I said earlier, it only allows to create a new file. I can copy, I can move the file in there. After set that, using the Windows Explorer, as you know that the Samba file server can be supported by the Mac, the Windows and Linux and iOS and Android. Any kind of OS can reach to this folder level storage protection. So it is add-on. So because of that, files cannot be deleted. And then even though I try to open the file, the fake files are provided to the application. Yeah, it's very easy to use. And then after I change the mode as a read-write, right after that, I can open the file. And then I can change it, like a typical file server. Yeah, that's the sometimes we named it as a hybrid worm server, hybrid worm storage. So because it is switchable, but the typical worm storage was only it was extremely expensive. It's not switchable, but it's a folder by folder. We can set the worm mode or the add only mode or list only mode. We can protect our data by setting that policy. So one of the good way of use case of the folder level storage protection is after following the application server, we can set the one network drive for the web server, because the web server have to accept the uploaded file from the user. Once the file comes in, it have to be protected as a worm. And then in the case of database file cannot be protected by itself. But we can make a schedule to make a backup file to the add-only network drive. By doing so, we can protect the backup file cannot be broken by the attackers. But in the application mode protection, the storage, in case by mapping the application level process, we can protect the application. We can protect the database file by itself. But in the folder level protection, so it is only available protecting your database backup file by providing the network drive as an add-only. So it's one of the good way of example. And then to your PC, we can provide the read-only network drive or read-write network drive to your PCs. Okay, so the second name of the folder level storage protection is the name of the second international standard, but it is when we provide as a product, we provide as a filing box Giga. So in summary, so in the previous, as I mentioned that among the 4 kinds of cyber attack, if attackers penetrate our system using the malware and software vulnerability, they can encrypt all the data in our storage. But by placing the storage protection on our storage, we can protect the attack from the malware attack and software vulnerability attacks. That's what we can provide today, and you're gonna experience it today. So the structure came from the zero trust principle, because when the resource is there, without connecting the resource directly, place in the PDP and PEP, and then examine which application or which user tried to do what. After examining in the middle, if it was registered, in case it only allowed to reach to the data. Yeah, that's the concept of the story protection. Okay, so far I tried to explain about the international standard only. So what the concept is, so what is the principle of the stories protection, and from now on, let me focusing on the free software. So after standardized the X.1220 and 23, so that was the made by the Filing Cloud. It's a proprietary software, but some of the experts participate in this project decided to provide the same software to the medical institutions free of charge to worldwide. So any medical institutions in your country have they have many medical institutions are running. They can use storage protection free of charge. So the reason we choose the healthcare medical institution as donor of the storage protection is as you know that the hospital and medical institutions are particularly vulnerable to cyber attack. The reason is the hospitals store the large volume of data naturally, and then the second is the hospitals operate a mission critical system because when we get this surgical operation, the system should be backed up. But if they by attacked by the cyber incident, in case they cannot resist to that. So by providing the storage protection to the medical institutions free of charge, we just wanted to keep the minimum social infrastructure. That was the second. And third one is as you know that the hospitals are using the old legacy system. So they don't have any budget. I don't know why, but they still using the old technology. But as you can see that the folder level storage protection that is based on the Samba, so it covers every kind of the system, including the PACS. PACS that is stand for that is the medical chart system simply, but those systems are very outdated. But they support for the Samba file server. So because of that, those are good. So and then fourth, as we know that in the hospital there are so many steps are working together. So because of that, naturally attack surface is very broad. So they can resist they are extremely vulnerable for the cyber attack. So we set up the protectmedicaldata.org. So the official name is the Protect Medical Data Initiative. If you come to here and then if you ask the free license, you have to submit the evidence you are the medical institutions in your country. If you submit that without asking anything, we're gonna provide a free license to them. So we wanted to protect the medical institutions. So it's a free software only to the medical institutions worldwide. And then from time to time, so we provide an educational program like this. But it is only that is only possible through the official channel. Official channel can be the ITU or the TTA or the APT. There are so many educational official channel out there. So please reach to them and then ask us to hosting that kind of practical time to your country or to your to here. Okay, and then the reason we compose as hands-on education is sometime when I was young, when I participate in the workshop, after the participate in workshop, and then back to the office, there is nothing to do on my hand. But as you can see that by providing free software after this education, I hope you contribute to your society right away. So, and then also one more thing is You can be the warrior in your society to protecting the medical institutions. And one more thing is I hope it's not your problem, it's your society problem. So because of that, by inviting your local ICT partners, I hope to solve this matter together. So there are ISP, Internet Service Provider, and there are hardware vendor and software vendor to maintain the medical system. So together with them to use the storage protection free software to the medical institutions. I hope you can solve this matter. In Korea, we are discussing with the LG ISP. You probably know that who the LG is. LG run the internet service provider in Korea. So we are discussing with this matter with the LG. And then simply I just working together to safeguard the medical institutions from the cyber attack. That's the reason to hosting this class today. And we are welcome to if anyone to be join our initiatives, we are welcome you. And also, if you come from your government, not the medical institutions, and if you wanted to use this program, so in case there are a lot of ODA funding opportunity in Korea, in ITU, in APT, and in World Bank. There are so many. I got some channels, and then so maybe by leveraging this opportunity. So even though you are not medical institutions, if you protect your data, so in case I think you can keep using this software. Okay, that's all I prepared today. So. If you get the free license, you can reach it to the Q. Q, please stand up. So please reach it to him. And then if you need or wanted to use if you want to leveraging the ODA opportunity or hands-on application, so feel free to reach it to me. Yeah. Okay, that's all I prepared today.